Have you ever had to stay quiet while someone shows their true colors? Have you swallowed hurtful words just because it's not your place to say anything? Sometimes silence hurts more than the words themselves. But let me tell you about the day I decided silence was no longer an option. I'm 16 and I've spent the last 4 years living in the same hell disguised as a happy family. My dad married Patricia when I was 12, 2 years after my mom died of cancer. Patricia is beautiful, elegant, well-spoken, perfect for Facebook photos, the perfect nightmare once the doors are closed. That Saturday afternoon, we were at Soriana doing the weekly grocery shopping. Patricia was pushing the cart full of ridiculously expensive organic products that only she ate, while I carried the reusable bags like her personal assistant. My dad was on a business trip, like always. We got to the checkout line. It was pretty crowded. In front of us, there was a woman with her son, a boy around 7 years old with Down syndrome. The little guy was excited, looking at the candy, pointing and smiling with that pure joy only kids have. "Mom, can I get one?" he asked in his tiny voice. His mom smiled at him, tired but with infinite love in her eyes. "Okay, sweetheart, pick one." The boy jumped with happiness while he chose a lollipop. In that moment, he tripped a little and accidentally bumped into Patricia's cart. He didn't drop anything, didn't break anything, nothing serious. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," the mom said right away. "I'm sorry, ma'am." Patricia didn't even answer. She just moved the cart with this exaggerated gesture of annoyance and looked the boy up and down with an expression that froze my blood. I knew that look. It was the same look of disdain she reserved for inferior people, as she called anyone who didn't have her social status. The boy kept smiling, completely unaware of the poison in her eyes, and then Patricia turned to me and said, loud enough for several people to hear, "My God, that kid makes me sick. I don't understand why people like that have to bring their kids to public places. They should stay home." The world stopped. I saw the mom's face fall apart. Her eyes filled with tears instantly. The boy kept smiling, thank God, without understanding those venomous words. But his mom understood, and the pain on her face tore me apart. The people around us heard it too. An older lady made a horrified face. A young guy with tattoos shook his head in disgust, but nobody said anything. Everyone just looked away awkwardly, like people always do. Patricia was still there, calm as ever, checking her phone like she hadn't just said something monstrous, and something inside me just snapped. 4 years of putting up with her racist comments whenever we watched the news. 4 years of hearing her make fun of housekeepers. 4 years of watching her treat my dad like an ATM and me like a burden. 4 years of pretending we were a family while she reminded me every day that I was the dead woman's son and that I'd never be good enough. All of that exploded right then. "You know what, Patricia?" My voice came out louder than I expected. "That kid is 1,000 times a better person than you." She turned to me, shocked. She was not used to me talking back. "Excuse me? You heard me?" I took a step forward, shaking but determined. "That kid who disgusts you has more humanity in his smile than you have in your entire body." People in line were really staring now. Patricia turned red. "Mateo, shut up right now. You're embarrassing yourself." "Embarrassing myself? I'm the one embarrassing myself." I felt 4 years of rage burning its way up my throat. "You just insulted an innocent child and his mother. That's what's embarrassing. That's what's disgusting." Patricia tried to grab my arm, but I pulled away. "Don't touch me. I'm done pretending. I'm done staying quiet while you treat people like trash." I turned to the boy's mom, who was looking at me with tears running down her cheeks. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry for her. Your son is beautiful, and you're an amazing mom. You don't deserve this." She couldn't speak, she just nodded while hugging her son. Patricia was furious, her perfectly made-up face twisted with anger. "Just wait until I tell your father. He's going to punish you for weeks. Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? Who do I think I am?" I let out a bitter laugh. "I'm the kid you've been emotionally abusing since the day you moved into my house. I'm the kid you told that my mom finally did something useful by dying and leaving the way clear for a real woman." I heard people around us gasp. Patricia went pale. "I never said that." "You did. 2 years ago when you thought I was asleep." My voice was shaking. "You also said you only married my dad for his money, that he's too simple but worth it for his bank account." "That's a lie. Want me to keep going? I pulled out my phone because I have recordings. For the past year, every time you've said something cruel, I've recorded it. Every insult, every racist comment, every time you treated someone like they were beneath you. I've got more than 50 audios. That wasn't true. I didn't have any recordings, but she didn't know that, and seeing the panic on her face was worth the lie. Well done, kid, a male voice said suddenly behind me. It was the tattooed guy who had been watching everything. He looked about 25, with a tough but honest expression. I've put up with people like her my whole life too, he went on. This lady, he pointed at Patricia, is everything that's wrong with society. She thinks she's better than everyone because she has money, but she doesn't have a drop of class. You don't know anything about me, Patricia hissed. I know enough. Insulting a kid with a disability is the lowest of the low. The guy turned to the boy's mom. Ma'am, your son is a blessing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The older lady who had made the horrified face spoke up too. In my 70 years, I've never heard anything so cruel. Young man, she looked at me. You did the right thing defending them. It takes courage to stand up to bullies. Other people started murmuring their support. Patricia was surrounded by disapproving looks. Her perfect face now looked distorted, desperate to escape. This is ridiculous. I'm not staying here to be insulted. She let go of the cart and started walking toward the exit. Patricia, I stopped her. One more thing. She turned furious. When my dad gets back from his trip, I'm going to tell him everything. Not just this, everything. How you've treated me these 4 years. How you've manipulated him. How you spend his money on your lovers. Yeah, I know about Rodrigo and Fernando. I've seen them going into the apartment when my dad's out of town. Her face completely fell apart. There was no more anger, just fear. You don't have proof of anything. Oh, I do, I said with a sad little smile. That's where I do have proof. Pictures. Lots of pictures. Patricia practically ran out of the supermarket, leaving the cart behind. My legs were shaking. The adrenaline was starting to drop, and I realized what I'd just done. The store manager came over, worried about the scene, but the people around explained what had happened. He just nodded, understanding, and made sure the boy's mom was okay. She came up to me once she could finally speak. Thank you, she said in a broken voice. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. I looked at the boy who was still happily enjoying his lollipop. No one should talk to you like that. No one should talk to you like that. No one. Has that woman really been treating you badly? I nodded, feeling a knot in my throat. Since she came into my life, but I never had the courage to say anything. I was scared my dad wouldn't believe me, scared of ending up with no family. I wiped away a tear that slipped out. But today when I saw you and your son, I couldn't stay quiet. Not anymore. She hugged me, a mom hug, the kind of hug I hadn't felt since mine died. You're very brave. Your mother would be proud of you. Those words broke me. I cried right there, in the middle of the supermarket, in the arms of a stranger who showed me more motherly love in 5 minutes than Patricia had in 4 years. When I finally calmed down, we exchanged phone numbers. She made me promise I'd tell her what happened later with my dad. The tattooed guy also said goodbye with a firm handshake. You've got guts, man. That's something not everyone has. Take care of yourself, and don't let anyone make you feel small. 2 days later, when my dad got back from his trip, we had the hardest conversation of my life. I told him everything, every insult, every cruel comment, every humiliation. And yes, I told him about Patricia's affairs too. At first, he didn't want to believe me. I thought I was going to lose my dad forever. But then I showed him the photos I'd taken, dates, times, the men going in and out of the apartment. His whole world collapsed. Patricia tried to deny everything, cried, begged, blamed me for being a resentful, lying kid. But the evidence was too strong. A week later, my dad asked her for a divorce. The legal process was ugly. Patricia hired expensive lawyers and tried to take half of everything, but her documented infidelity worked against her. In the end, she left with a lot less than she expected. Today, 6 months later, the house feels different. It's emptier, but also fuller. My dad and I are finally rebuilding our relationship. He apologized 1,000 times for not seeing what I was going through, for letting his loneliness after losing my mom blind him. And I learned something important. Silence is not peace. Silence is just fear in disguise. Real peace comes when you have the courage to stand up for what's right, even when your voice shakes. The lady from the supermarket and I became friends. I visit them sometimes. Her son, Pedrito, always runs to me with that huge smile that melted my heart that day. He reminds me why it's worth it to be brave. You know what's the most important part of this story? That it's not just my story. It's the story of thousands of people who suffer emotional abuse in silence, who put up with it because they're scared, because they don't know if anyone will believe them, because they think that's just how things are. But things don't have to be that way. If you're living with someone who mistreats you, who humiliates you, who makes you feel small, I want you to know something: you have value. Your voice matters, and you deserve respect. It doesn't matter if it's your stepmother, stepfather, a father, a mother, a sibling, a partner. No one has the right to make you feel inferior. No one has the right to abuse you emotionally. And if you witness someone else being mistreated, especially vulnerable people like kids, people with disabilities, the elderly, please don't look away. Your silence is complicity. Your voice can change a life. That day at the supermarket, I could have stayed quiet like I had for 4 years. I could have let Patricia insult that innocent kid with zero consequences. It could have been just another cruel comment in a world full of cruelty. But I chose to speak, and that choice changed my life. I'm not telling you it's easy. I was shaking with fear. I thought I might lose my dad. I thought maybe no one would believe me. But I did it anyway, because some things are more important than fear. Dignity is one of them, justice is another, and self-respect is the most important of all. So next time you see injustice, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? The one who looks the other way, or the one who stands up and says, "This is not okay"? Your answer to that question defines who you really are. Choose wisely, because silence may feel comfortable, but courage is what actually builds a better world. And do you have the courage to speak up when it matters?